Well, well, well.
What are you doing in here?
Sorry, didn't mean to ruffle Miss Songbird's feathers.
Look, Kathy, I don't think we have anything to say to each other.
Well, maybe you don't, but I sure do. I saw you out there.
What are you talking about?
Cliff, I saw the way you were singing to him out there. It's not going to do you any good.
I think Cliff is old enough to speak for himself. I mean, I don't know how things stand between you two, but...
Well, we're going to be married. That's how things stand. And I don't intend to let the ex, Mrs. Baxter, change it. You understand me?
Look, Kathy, like I said, that's up to Cliff to decide. Now, if you don't mind, I have to...
Wait a minute. You don't get off that easy.
Look, Kathy, I asked you to leave nicely. Now, get out.
Don't touch me. I don't care who you are.
Hey, Ruby, will you hurry up? They're taking the room apart out there.
Splash some water on her face and get her out of here.
Ruby, we've got trouble.
Yeah, well, she started it. Coming in here and picking a fight. She even came at me with the scissors.
Ruby, she's dead.
Dead? She can't be dead. Kathy. Kathy.
You must have hit her pretty hard.
No. No.
We're in a mess of trouble here.
Shine, there's got to be something we can do.
It's too late for that now, Ruby. Don't you understand? She's dead. You better get out here, Ruby, before they riot. She's coming.
I can't go out there.
You've got to. Now, listen to me. It's no good you getting mixed up in this. You let me take care of it.
I didn't mean to hurt her.
I know. Now, look at me. Look at me. You're gonna go out there, and you're gonna let old Shine take care of this. Now, I'll handle it. Come on. Come on. Kathy. Hey, Kathy. Come on. Wake up. Come on. How do you feel?
Oh, wow. Oh.
Well, now, it's just a little bump.
Little, my head's killing me.
Nah, a scratch. Come on, we gotta get you out of here.
What are you doing, Shine?
Come on, out you go.
Oh, Shine, leave me alone.
A little fresh air, make you a new girl. Now, come on, come on. That's it.
Boy, oh boy, wait till I get my hands on that Ruby. Am I gonna fix her wagon?
Take it easy. You got off lucky.
Lucky. She could have killed me.
I told Ruby she did.
You what?
Ruby thinks she killed you. She really does. Now, you wanted revenge. Just think what that's going to do to her.
Oh, what happens when she sees me?
No reason she has to see you. Not for a while, at least. I can put you up in L.A. You always wanted to live in the big city.
I'd leave her an open field with Cliff, not on your life.
Look, she's already got it. Ruby came back this time to stay. But if she thinks she killed you, I can scare her into going back on the road with me.
Now, what happens when she finds out we fooled her?
Who knows? By that time, Ruby and I might even be married. Anyway, I'll have what I want, and you can have what you want. You've been after me for a long time about a career. Now I can connect you with the right people, change your name, get your top vocal coach. With luck, you might even be bigger than Ruby one day.
You're slick, Shy. Too slick for me. You'd end up tricking me the same way you're trying to trick Ruby right now. I don't trust you, Shine. Take me back.
I can't do that. Not after what I told Ruby.
Take me back or I'll walk back.
Kathy, you're going to Los Angeles.
And a pup's gonna have kittens. Goodbye, Shine.
Mr. Hopkins, did Kathy ever take off like this before?
Not this long. Not without telling me anyway.
What did the sheriff say?
Well, I guess I better tell it to you straight, Mr. Jones. Kathy is somewhat of a reputation around here. George said he'd look into it, but I know he pretty well figures she'll show up on her own.
But you don't think so?
I pray she will. She didn't take a car, didn't pack her bags. It's not like Kathy. The one thing she's particular about, that's her clothes.
Sold out, I said. Yeah, the joint was jammed, spilling out into the street. It was fantastic. Ruby's never been better. No, we're in Porter City right now, Ruby's old hometown. We're just passing through.
Sean, can't you call him back?
I'll call you back, Will. Yeah. Hey. Hey, now, you just relax. We're gonna be back on the road in a couple of days, and everything's gonna be fine.
Ruby.
Cliff's here.
What does Baxter want?
Something about property. I may tell him I'll talk to him on the patio. Right.
Ruby, why don't you let me handle this?
No, I can handle it.
Cliff? Hello? Freddie! Hey, we've been expecting your call.
You're looking great.
Looking mighty good yourself, Ruby.
Freddie, you're my main man. I had you penciled in all along. You shouldn't worry.
Shine, can you please take that inside?
Hold on a minute, Freddie.
Thanks. I never had a chance to thank you for the flowers.
Good to have you back again, Ruby. Plan on staying a while this time?
No, Shine's firming up the schedule right now.
Well, I sold the rest of the yearlings and figure we might have a favorite at Ruidoso this year.
Cliff, that's nice. I'm really glad for you.
The horses are still half yours, you know. That's what I came to talk to you about. You never did return the settlement papers, and we got an offer on the river frontage.
Oh, well, go ahead, sell it. I won't give you any trouble.
Well, I can't sell it until I get you to sign the papers. I need your autograph.
You know, it's funny, I still have the plans for the summer house we're going to build there.
Listen, I don't have to sell it, you know. I can...
Look, I'll see that you get the papers this afternoon.
Ruby, what is it? What's the matter?
Nothing. I guess it's just coming home blues or something. Seems like everything here happened 100 years ago.
No, it was 8 months ago. 8 months, 1 week, 3 days. And I'm the guy who can never remember our wedding anniversary.
I guess a divorce is easier to remember.
I figured you were happier now. I read about you all the time in the magazines. You're a big star.
Oh, yeah, a big star. How about you, Cliff? How's it been with you?
Oh, same old waiting game, you know. Wait for the mares to fall, the kids to fill out, and then there's the auctions. Mainly, I wait for a woman to come to her senses.
Last night, there's something. Cliff.
Look, I hate to interrupt, but I've still got Freddie on the other line. He wants to know, is Yuma set for Friday night?
No, tell him I've got to think about it and we'll let him know later.
Listen, you guys are busy. I'll talk to you later, Ruby.
What's the matter with you, Ruby? We've got to get out of here.
I told you, I've got to think about it.
Anybody home? Morning. I'm looking for Cliff Baxter.
Baxter? Hey, he was here a minute ago. Here he is over by the gelding.
Thanks. Ah. Well, muscle chest. Looks like a winner.
Sounds like you know your horses.
I like his haunches. Looks like he can get out of a starting gate. That's important at 400 yards.
You a buyer?
No, I'm a private investigator, Barnaby Jones. Mr. Baxter, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Kathy Lou Hopkins. Her father hired me.
How'd you know I was out here?
Well, I went by your place, and I saw your stables and your short track out back, and I read about the sale and put two and two together, and it came out quarter horse.
That's a sample of your work. You ought to find her in no time.
And you're not worried about her?
She's a free spirit. She'll turn up.
You didn't go looking for her the other night at the Silver Spur when she disappeared?
I figured she went home with somebody else, probably Wayne Gibson.
Wayne Gibson, who's he?
Well, he's an old boyfriend of hers. He was there, and from the looks he was giving me, I figured he wasn't too happy.
Did he have a reason?
Me and Kathy? No, not hardly.
That's not the word around town.
Well, it's a small town, Mr. Jones. People jump to conclusions. There's nothing serious between us. Red, this is the one I want. You can make out a bill of sale.
I'm sorry, he's sold.
Sold?
Yeah, not more than 5 minutes ago.
Cliff, he's yours. I missed your birthday, so many happy returns.
That was real sweet of you, Ruby. This is Mr. Jones, Ruby Deems.
This is an unexpected pleasure, Miss Deems. I'm a big fan of yours.
Well, thank you.
Mr. Jones is a private investigator. He's here looking for Kathy. I imagine Dwight's getting a little nervous.
I didn't know she was missing.
Oh, yes, she's been missing for 4 days. Did you know Kathy?
Oh, well, everybody knows Kathy, but I'm afraid I haven't seen her. Well, Cliff, I better be going now. Bye. Nice meeting you, Mr. Jones.
Thanks again, Ruby. Quite a woman.
Quite a present from an ex-wife. Most divorces I know about, all the husband gets is a horse laugh. You got the whole horse.
I can see you did your homework.
Well, I'm a fan of Miss Deems, and I'm sorry to hear about the two of you breaking up.
It's all right. It's just a case of Ruby wanting a career, me wanting a full-time wife. If you're wondering, Mr. Jones, it had nothing to do with me and Kathy.
Well, I was wondering, but that's part of my job. And I guess I better get the rest of it attended to. Thank you, Mr. Baxter.
It's all right.
Shine, where's Kathy?
What are you talking about?
Don't play dumb with me. Where is she?
Why don't you try Cliff Baxter?
I already checked these places. No sign of her. Now, look, the other night when we were all at the club, I went outside for a cigarette right in the middle of Ruby's last set. I saw you sneaking off with Kathy.
Oh, you did, huh?
Yes, I did.
Wayne, everyone knows that my only interest is in Ruby. Kathy and I just went off to have a business meeting.
Oh, business, huh? So I'm going to tell you something. Nobody's seen her for 5 days. Now I hear there's a private detective down here looking for her. So you either tell me where I can find Kathy, or I'm going to go right to the sheriff.
Shine, can I speak to you before you go?
Yeah, just a minute, Ruby.
Of course, maybe the one I ought to be talking to is Ruby.
Wait a minute. Look, I didn't want this to get around, but there was some trouble that night.
What kind of trouble?
Kathy and Ruby had words over Cliff Baxter. They got into a fight. Now, Kathy's staying in L.A. with some friends. We figured it'd be better for everyone all around if she just kind of kept out of sight until Ruby left town, just in case there were some reporters nosing around for a story.
What's the phone number? I want to talk to her.
I'll save you some time. Ruby and I are leaving tomorrow. Kathy's coming back tonight. You see, I promised Kathy some money for her trouble.
You wouldn't lie to me.
What for? Look, I'll call you when she comes in. Are you still working at the vet's office?
Yeah, I'll be there around 9 o'clock.
Well, fine. I'll call you.
Okay.
Afternoon.
Can I trouble you for a glass of cold milk?
Fresh out. Sorry.
Something to be sorry about.
But I'm the culprit. I just polished off the last carton. Not much call for it here, so the boss says I can have all I can drink. Just so long as I don't moo at the customers. Can I get you something else?
No, thanks. What I really want is some information.
What about?
Were you working the night of Ruby Deem's homecoming?
That was a big night. I wouldn't have missed it. She always plays here when she's in town, because this is where she started. Just listen to that sweet voice. Ruby never lost touch. You know, she may be a star and all that, but she's never forgot her home folk. She's as plain as hash browns.
Do you know Kathy Lou Hopkins?
Sure, we were drum majorettes together.
Was she here that night?
Oh, yeah, but I didn't wait on her table. Pity, that Cliff Baxter, ooh, he's something else.
Do you happen to recall when she left the table that night?
Oh, Kathy's antsy. She's always moving. She zipped out right after Ruby's first set.
You know where she went?
Backstage. Make a phone call, I guess.
Could I take a look?
Sure. Come on. See, here's the phone. Oh, we gotta keep that locked. Souvenir hunters would take the paint right off the wall.
You think Kathy may have left the club by this door that night?
She could have. I never did see her come back to the table.
How about Wayne Gibson?
Yeah, how about that, Wayne? Cute, huh? Kathy has all the luck.
Did you notice when he left the club?
He left by himself, right after Kathy, as a matter of fact.
Well, thank you, young lady. You've been a big help.
Hey, next time you're in, we'll have milk. I'll see to it.
All right, what's the deal? How come we're meeting here at Baxter's place?
You know, Kathy, she's got her mind set on seeing Cliff before she does anything else.
Where is Kathy?
She's out back.
All right, let's go. Yeah, well, I think that's really stupid, Kathy, coming over here, because Cliff Baxter doesn't care anything about her.
I'm glad we agree. The last thing I want is more trouble between her and Ruby. Now, look, I'd like to get her out of here before Ruby and Cliff come back to the club.
Well, don't worry. I'm taking Kathy with me this time.
Fine. Kathy? Hey, Kathy. There you are.
Look, I got home around midnight, maybe a little later. Ruby and I stopped off for a drink after our last show.
Coroner puts him dead at just about that time.
Hey, George, you know I didn't kill Wayne.
Could this be Wayne Gibson?
That's right, you know him?
Oh, what I've seen him. He was in the house the other day when I came out to see Mr. Baxter. He scooted off in such a hurry I couldn't get to talk to him.
Cliff, you want to tell me what he was hanging around here for?
I'm afraid Wayne's the only one that could answer that.
Well, you can bet that Kathy Hopkins was involved. Everybody knows that he was carrying a burn about you two.
No, there was no reason.
That's what you say, but that doesn't explain how he wound up dead all of a sudden. You know, Cliff, you wanted to tell me about it up front. If you two had a fight and he wound up off that balcony, it could be self-defense.
I already told you I didn't even see Wayne till I found him here this morning.
You know, it seems strange.
What's that?
Well, if it happened the way you say, that Baxter and Gibson had a tussle and Gibson took a hitter over the balcony, why would Baxter leave him lying there for anybody to find?
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Well, now, wait a minute. Cliff admits he was drinking last night.
Ruby and I had a few drinks, that's all.
Well, you can be sure of one thing. When there's a missing girl involved, alcohol and perfume don't mix. Isn't that right, Mr. Jones?
Well, that's a pretty good theory, Sheriff, but I learned a long time ago not to jump to conclusions. Could be dangerous. You could break a foot, especially if you got one stuck in your mouth.
All right, Cliff, I'm not going to run you in. But you stick around, okay?
Sure, George.
See you guys.
Dean?
Jones. Hello. I don't believe you know my manager, Shine Stanfield.
Hello, Mr. Jones.
Pleasure. I understand that your end of the business is sometimes as important as a good voice.
Yes, I couldn't do without Shine. Now, what can I do for you?
Well, I just wanted to ask you a few questions, Miss Deems. Do you recall seeing Kathy Lou Hopkins backstage the night of your homecoming?
No. Should I have?
Well, the waitress told me that she might have gone back there to make a phone call, and I thought maybe...
I saw her. She came backstage, but she didn't make a call. She went right out the back door.
I wonder why.
Ducking out on Cliff Baxter, I'd imagine.
That seems strange. I understood that she was stuck on him.
Well, Cliff Baxter isn't her only beau. Wouldn't be the first time Kathy played one against the other.
Well, if you're referring to Wayne Gibson, I don't think he'll be giving us any information.
Yeah, we got a call about him earlier. That looks kind of bad for Cliff.
Miss Deems, you were out with Cliff last night. Had he been drinking?
Yes. Yes, but he wasn't drunk. And he didn't kill Wayne, Mr. Jones.
The way I read things between you two, I don't think he did either.
Is that detective analysis, Mr. Jones?
Oh, just cracker barrel logic. Kathy's been missing 5 days now. It seems to me if Cliff had been upset enough to kill somebody over her, he would have bristled when she walked out on him.
I never thought of it quite that way. Look, I'm sorry, Mr. Jones, but we got to get packing here. We got a date in Tucson tomorrow. Ruby?
Yes, we'd better.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hold you up. Miss Deems, don't worry too much about what happened around here the last few days. We'll have the answer shortly.
You have a lead, then?
You might say. If Baxter didn't kill Wayne Gibson, it was the act of a person in panic, and that always leaves a trail.
Couldn't it have been an accident?
Hardly. There was a struggle on Baxter's veranda, and when we find out who Gibson was struggling with, we may have a lot of answers.
Is that more cracker barrel logic, Mr. Jones?
Plus a pinch of instinct. Have a good trip.
I shouldn't let you do this, Mr. Jones.
Well, if nobody ever took a chance, nothing ever get done.
We really better go now.
Well, I'm finished anyway. Thanks, Billy. You've helped me a lot.
You're welcome.
Oh, just a minute.
Hey, what's going on out there? Oh, it's you, Mr. Jones.
What is this, some kind of a deadbeat alarm system so people can't walk out without paying their checks?
You guessed it.
Is it always on?
During business hours.
Did it ring the night of Ruby's homecoming?
No.
Thanks. like to make a long-distance call. Area code 213-555-6793. Barnaby Jones. Hi, Betty.
Barnaby, I'd just about given up hope of ever hearing your voice again. How are things going?
Well, if you like the sound of my voice, we got a real sweet voice up here. Ruby Deems, you know her?
Oh, know of her. Fantastic country and western.
You ever want to meet her? I got an inside track.
Oh, would I? All right, Barnaby, what do you need?
My comparison microscope, some slides, a small bottle of nail lacquer, a bottle of alcohol ether mix, some Canada balsam, and your own sweet smile.
Well, if traffic isn't too heavy, I'll be there in about an hour.
I'll be at the Dwight Hopkins Farm, Route 70 on the west side of town.
All right, I'll be there. Bye.
The hair on the left is one that I took out of Kathy's hairbrush. You see how thin the root is, as if it had come out naturally. The one on the right is one I took off the window in the dressing room. You see how fat the root is, sort of bulbous, as though it had been pulled out.
Look identical to me in every characteristic.
Except the root. I believe that the hair I took off the window in the dressing room is Kathy's, just as these prints that I took off her mirror are identical with the prints that I took off the window in the dressing room.
Well, then, Kathy was in the dressing room the night of Ruby's homecoming?
I think there's very little doubt of that. Question is, why did Shine and Ruby go to such great lengths to lie about it?
They can't very well deny evidence like this.
Depends on what they're trying to hide. These prints from the window had a little blood on them.
Think Kathy's dead?
I think they're the only ones who can tell us. And I think we ought to go pay them a visit.
We were so happy that...
Hey, Ruby, what's the matter?
I'm leaving, Cliff. This evening.
Hey, come on now. Last night we both decided we were going to give it another chance.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but we'll have to forget about last night.
Does it have anything to do with Wayne, or you think something's going on between me and Kathy?
No. It has nothing to do with you. I love you. Seeing you again has made me know just how much, but there's nothing I can do.
Look, Ruby, I'm not going to let you walk out of my life again.
Cliff, I have to go.
Not without a better explanation than that. Look, we might not get another chance again. Come on, what is it? Nothing can be so terrible.
Oh, it is. It is. Please, just let me go.
Oh, hi. Miss Deems' aunt said I might find Ruby here. It'll just take a few minutes. This is my daughter-in-law, Betty Jones.
Hello.
Yeah, she's here. Come on in.
Thank you.
Ruby, you remember Mr. Jones?
Miss Deems, this is my daughter-in-law, Betty Jones.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Dean.
Nice meeting you. How are you, Mr. Jones?
Just fine. Miss Deems, are you aware that Kathy Hopkins was in your dressing room the night she disappeared?
I don't understand. I told you.
I know, but before you tell me again, I think that you ought to know that I have proof that she was there.
Ruby, what is it?
She was there, wasn't she?
Yes.
Why don't you tell us exactly what happened?
Kathy came backstage during my change. She was angry about Cliff and me, and I asked her to leave, but she wouldn't. And then suddenly we were fighting, and I hit her. I hit her. She had the scissors, and I hit her with a bottle, and I killed her.
Ruby, you don't have to say any more. Now we get a lawyer.
Mr. Baxter, I'm not a policeman.
No, Cliff, please. I want it out. I want it out. Oh, thank God it's over.
Now, Not quite, Miss Deems. What did you do with the body?
It's in the old soil pond.
You put it there?
Yes.
You lifted up her body and took it through the window, put it in the car.
Yes.
And I understand that when you came back on stage, you had changed your costume. Now, where did you get the time to do all of that?
I can't lie anymore. I can't. Shine did it for me, but he only did it to protect me.
It was very good of Shine, very loyal. Was he there that whole time?
No, he came in after I hit Kathy.
How did you know she was dead?
She just lay there. And then Shine came in and he checked her and he told me. I don't see.
It's all right, Ruby. These are latent fingerprints of Kathy's that I removed from the window in your dressing room. Little blood on them, probably from when you hit her.
What are you talking about?
Dead people don't leave fingerprints. Kathy was alive when she went through the window. They're hers. I checked.
I don't understand. You mean I didn't kill Kathy?
Not in your dressing room, you didn't.
You mean Kathy's still alive? She's still alive?
I wish I could believe that. Mr. Baxter, do you have any grappling gear?
Yeah, there's a grappling hook out in the stable.
What is it?
Give me 15 minutes head start and call the sheriff. Tell him to meet me at the Sawhill Pond. I've been expecting you, Shine.
You know, I think that pond's all fished out.
I don't think so.
Matter of fact, I think the fish I want's still around here. When I find Kathy's body, I'll have the evidence that she didn't die from a blow on the head, that Ruby didn't kill her. That's why you followed me, isn't it? You lose something, Jones?
Get an ambulance, and you better bring out a crew. I think they'll find Kathy Hopkins' body in there. I don't don't think that there's really too much to worry about here, Cliff. There'll have to be a hearing. But, in my opinion, the only thing that Ruby is guilty of is bad judgment.
What about Shine?
He's already confessed to the 2 murders, and I think that'll satisfy the state.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Hopkins.
Mr. Jones told me the whole story. I don't blame you, Ruby.
I guess the problem is I blame myself. If I hadn't trusted Shine...
Nothing wrong with accepting your share of the blame, as long as you don't give yourself a life sentence.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. For everything.
Mind if I go with her, George?
No, not if she doesn't.
All set?
Yeah. Mr. Yeager, you gonna take those rages again today?
Why not? Boss allowed to play. Let's bust him.
morning. Is Miss Yeager in? I'm Barnaby Jones.
Just 1 minute, please.
I'll be making some changes on the board, but I wouldn't so much as hint, at least not yet, that I'm thinking of phasing out the motor division.
Mrs. Yeager, Mr. Barnaby Jones to see you?
Yes, I'm expecting him.
Well, I don't think we need worry about the Yeager stocks not showing some strength soon, although it might be best to leak the next quarterly, put the rumors to rest. Mrs. Yeager, please accept our condolences once again. All of us have the highest regard for your husband.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Miss Yeager?
Mr. Jones.
If this is inconvenient, I could come at another time, tomorrow even.
No, it's all right. I prefer getting as many details out of the way as possible. May I offer you something?
No, nothing for me, thanks. This is a lovely place you have here.
Oh, thank you. Why don't we talk outside, get some fresh air?
Fine. Now, I know that California Meridian Insurance has already spoken to you, so I'll try not to cover any old ground.
Perhaps you can tell me exactly what the problem is. Is it the size of the policy?
Well, the double indemnity accidental death clause brings the amount up to $1 million.
Well, if my husband's death wasn't accidental, what are you suggesting, Mr. Jones? A suicide?
No, I'm not suggesting anything, Mrs. Yeager. It's just that the company feels obligated to look rather closely into the accidental death theory. That's the reason they brought me in.
Well, I think you can eliminate suicide as a possibility. My husband was in perfect health, both mentally and physically. No man had a greater zest for living.
You know, it's common knowledge that the Yeager company was in financial trouble lately.
Well, the motor division's been a drain, that's true. So we're considering the possibility of some surgery there. In fact, the reason for that division's existence passed on with Jonathan. It was always more of a hobby with him than a business.
You don't suppose it's possible that Mr. Yeager could have been preoccupied with the problems of the company that morning?
Certainly not while testing a motorcycle. It speeds up to 100 miles an hour.
I realize riders do take spills, but I understand that the trail along the ridge was straight and smooth, and Mr. Yeager had been over it many times in the past.
Well, perhaps what it all boils down to, Mr. Jones, is that it takes just one mistake. And Jonathan made it. Excuse me.
Francis?
Carolyn.
Oh, I would have called or wired or something.
I'm sorry I've been in such a state of shock.
I just happened to see a tiny mention of it in the San Francisco papers.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Mr. Jones, this is my sister, Carolyn Lacey.
How do you do?
Mr. Jones?
I think I'll be leaving now, Mrs. Yeager. If you don't mind, I'll stop by your motor division, maybe talk to some of the men who are with your husband.
That'll be fine. Steve Rollins is in charge there now. He'll give you whatever help you need.
Thank you very much. Nice meeting you, Miss Lacey.
I wish you'd called. Can't tell you how awful it was reading about Jonathan's death days after the fact.
I'm sorry, Carolyn. I've had 100 things on my mind.
Sometimes I can't understand you, Francis. How could you forget to notify your own sister?
Half-sister, dear.
Look, I came here because I thought I might be some help, some comfort. Obviously, you don't require that comfort.
Meaning what? That I didn't love Jonathan?
That's always been understood between us. But he was a good man in many ways, Francis. I mean, surely you respected him. Would it be easier for you if I just drove back to San Francisco?
Well, that would hardly look proper now, would it? I'm sure we can manage to stay out of each other's hair for a few days, don't you think?
I just always wish we'd been closer.
That's hardly of any importance now, Carolyn, is it?
Now, as far as you can figure, your position was right there.
Yeah, I'd say a quarter mile to the right of the ridge, just along the lip of the royal.
From each of these four positions, none of you fellas saw Mr. Yeager go up on the ridge.
Well, you know, out there testing bikes, it's kind of hard to keep track of anybody. You're too busy trying to handle your own machine.
Joe, you weren't on the left side of me, but ahead and to the right.
No. I hit sand right here and almost flipped into the arroyo. That was to the left of you.
No, I saw you to his right, too. You were wearing a black helmet, right?
Come on, man. I had a mouthful of sand. You're going to tell me that I wasn't to the west of the arroyos?
You two are both wrong. I can vouch for Joe riding on the left.
No, not on my left.
Well, exactly where did you see me then?
Here, may I?
Sure.
Right here.
Now, how could I be over there when I saw at least two of you guys just to the east of me just minutes before the accident?
Look, old buddy, if you weren't there, you weren't there, but wasn't you, who was it?
I don't know.
Mr. Jones, did you get what you came for?
Well, there seems to be a difference of opinion, Mr. Rollins.
That happens. How about getting back to work, fellas?
Thanks, fellas. Say, you mind if I take this?
Not at all. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Well, no, I don't think so. Well, maybe. You might be able to clear up a point. Those tests that you made out there on the desert course, were they a weekly routine thing?
Well, we take the bikes out, we abuse them, we bring them back and rip them apart.
Was Mr. Yeager's participation in the test routine?
You couldn't keep him away. He really loved biking across those ridges.
Well, what about yourself, Mr. Rollins? I understand that you were in charge of all the testing, but you weren't out there that day with the others.
I stopped riding that desert course about 3 months ago. Back trouble.
Well, and it's just the four fellows, Mr. Yeager, and you. You know of anyone else who might have been familiar with the course or had ridden it or knew the routine?
Those four men you talked to, they're our only testers. They've been with us ever since we bought that desert acreage.
Well, thank you very much, and I hope your back gets better.
Thank you.
I must have gone through 6 pounds of financial reports this afternoon.
You know, you're going to have to learn to leave business details to others. You're a very rich lady now, and especially tonight. I don't want you preoccupied with business details. You promise?
I promise.
Wouldn't you think they'd pick a safer spot to test motorcycles?
Eddie, I'm puzzled. I can't understand why the 4 test drivers can't agree on their position just before the accident. Now, 2 of them out there claim that they saw Joe Scully right here. He's wearing a black helmet, and they swear they saw him. Right here. Scully says he was out there. He's backed up by number 4 down there.
That's a discrepancy of over a mile.
And my first instinct was that somebody wasn't telling the truth. But that would be such a clumsy lie. The point of debate. Sometimes the simplest explanations are the most accurate. Now, if those 4 riders are all telling the truth, there must have been another cyclist out here. Mr. X.
Mr. X? Oh, Barnaby. Now, if, as you say, these 2 riders saw him here in this area, well, Where was he before that?
Someplace where there wasn't any chance of one of the bikes coming tearing through. Someplace where he could have kept an eye on the others. Let's start over there. Several days old, at least.
Barnaby, couldn't someone have just been resting here?
Through 3 cigarettes, that would take a half hour or more.
What's that?
Oil drippings.
I see.
No tire tracks. Wind took care of that. What we got is a trespasser who sat here long enough to smoke 3 cigarettes and let his machine drip a little oil in the sand.
Well, are you going to be able to fix the time?
If that's our Mr. X, he's got a lot more curiosity than just a trespasser.
Good morning, John. Oh, I got to get my 2 miles in every day or go to bed with a guilty conscience.
Well, would your conscience permit accepting a lift at this point?
If it didn't, it'd be in for an argument.
You get down this way often?
L.A.? I haven't been down for a year or so. Kind of hard to tear me away from that city by the bay.
Pacific Western, huh?
Yeah.
Track, I'll bet.
No records, just lots of fun.
Yeah, that's about the way I went at it. But I did break the 4-minute mile once my junior year at Claiborne College.
You did?
Yep. They had to meet in a county park, a brand new quarter-mile oval. I was quite a hero for about a half an hour until somebody suggested measuring the track. The county commissioner had awarded the contract to his nearsighted nephew. The track was 50 yards short.
Oh, that's delicious. The housekeeper said she hadn't heard from Frances either. Can't imagine where she spent the entire night. Oh, well, she'll probably call or show up soon. Here you are.
Yeah, it looks very good.
I'm the gal who's most efficient in all things which do not matter.
Miss Lacey.
Oh, Carolyn, please. I'm not a women's liver, but the miss at my age is something less than complimentary.
I wouldn't say that. I was just wondering whether you might have some information that Mr. Yeager had trouble with one of his employees lately.
No, I never heard anything like that.
What about his relationship with your sister?
I'm sure Jonathan loved her. As for Frances, I don't think she'll ever change. She wants what she wants, she gets it, she grows tired of it, and goes on to something new. Sounds to me like you suspect something more than an accident.
Well, I can't dismiss that possibility.
Then, in fairness to Jonathan, I must tell you that he had become concerned about something in the last 6 months. He spent a lot of time in San Francisco. We'd sometimes have dinner together. I guess you know that he and I were something more than just friends.
I didn't know that.
It's a long time ago. Almost 7 years. Oh, I've kind of gotten used to playing second fiddle where Frances is concerned. Even as kids. She always ended up with the nicest toy or be on my father's knee just when I wanted to be. Anyway, Jonathan said that he and Frances were having friction. I think he knew she was having an affair.
Did he mention the man's name?
No. He did say that he thought it might be somebody close to him in the company.
Mr. Jones? May I speak with you for a moment?
Yeah, surely. Excuse me.
My attorney tells me that your report to the insurance company is the only thing that's holding up the check.
Yes, I won't be much longer, Mrs. Yeager.
I don't mean to be rude, but your prodding is beginning to make others as well as me nervous.
I have to apologize for that, but I was just telling your sister that your husband's death may not have been accidental.
Mr. Jones, if you're trying to revive that suicide theory...
I never had that theory. No, Mrs. Yeager, what I suspect but have been unable to prove is that there was another bike rider on the test area that day. He caused your husband's bike to go off the ridge.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
That rider was waiting for some time out there, hiding and smoking these cigarettes. You know anyone who smokes brown cigarettes like that?
No, I don't.
Well, thank you very much. Bye.
Frances, where were you last night?
None of your business.
It's true, isn't it? You've been having an affair for some time now. With Steve Rollins?
Exactly what is it that troubles you? Is it being one of the have-nots, or is it something else?
Nothing ever seems to trouble you, does it? Jonathan's been dead for exactly a week.
Perhaps you were right. Perhaps it would be wiser for you to go back to San Francisco. As a matter of fact, why don't you plan on leaving first thing in the morning?
Hi, beautiful.
Mr. Jones thinks Jonathan may have been murdered.
What? Can he prove it?
He says somebody was hiding out at the testing grounds, waiting to send Jonathan crashing off that ridge.
What?
Somebody who smokes the same kind of cigarettes you do. Where did you go that day, Steve, after you left me?
Biking along the coast, testing a new needle valve. Hey, wait a minute, honey. These cigarettes are found all over town. Besides, how long do you have to know me? Don't you know me well enough?
I'm sorry, darling. I just felt sick when I saw those cigarettes.
You know what I think? Friend Jones is just trying to convince the insurance company that he's worth the fee. Wrong theory, gentlemen, but I was in there pitching. You know what I mean? Good days ahead, honey.
Evening, Pete. Mr. Rollins around? I don't know if he's gone home or not. You might look back by his desk there, though.
Thanks, I'll try there.
Mr. Rollins?
Will that be all, Mrs. Yeager? Yes, that's fine for tonight. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Steve? Steve, are you here? Who's there? Are you home? Please. No. Carolyn. Carolyn! How does it feel to be on the short end for a change, Francis?
Please, please.
I'm going to tell you how it feels to be on the winning side for the first time. Delicious.
What can you gain by killing me?
Money? All that money that should have been mine 7 years ago.
No, no!
Morning, Mr. Rollins.
Morning.
Called your apartment several times last night, but you weren't in.
I was out riding. What did you want?
You know, watching the way those cycles bounce around out there, you'd think they'd all come in total wrecks.
It's the whole point behind it.
You have special equipment on each bike? I notice the oil has a kind of a special tint.
We use synthetic oil with a vegetable base. We're just Experimenting with one of our refinery products.
All the bikes use the same kind of oil?
Yes. Mr. Jones, you're not interested in vegetable oils. Let's get to the point. Like, what kind of cigarettes do I smoke?
Well, I think that we can charge that down to coincidence as long as you can explain and account for your time during the day that Mr. Yeager was killed.
I was testing this bike along the coast. Next.
All day?
You got it.
You didn't even stop anywhere for gasoline?
All right, all right. I was with a woman part of the day. And you're not getting her name.
Wouldn't be the same woman who said she didn't recognize the kind of cigarette you smoked?
Goodbye, Mr. Jones.
Oops, sorry. That's clumsy of me.
I'll clean it. Just let it be.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Rollins, do you own more than one bike?
I own 2 bikes. I mean, I did own 2 bikes. One was stolen a few months ago. Why?
Just curiosity. Sorry about the oil. That was a close one. I should have been watching.
Oh, it was my fault. Maybe I should stick to jogging, huh? You looking for Frances?
Yes, I was hoping to talk to her.
Don't think she's home yet. Mr. Jones, there's something very peculiar going on.
Like what?
I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I think I can name the man that Frances has been seeing. At least I saw them together one night, and the relationship was more than friendly. Steve Rollins?
Yes, I've met him.
Well, it didn't take much imagination to know she was expecting him last night.
What makes you say that?
Oh, about 7 o'clock, she asked me what I was planning to do that evening. I said nothing. She suggested that I take in a movie at the Village. I took the hint and got home at about midnight. But she was gone. I don't know. It's just all very strange.
Miss Lacey! The police just called. On the beach. Mrs. Yeager. Oh, God.
Miss, no, it's better if you wait up here, Miss. No, please, wait right over here. There's nothing you can do. Please,
Mr. Jones, I can't believe it.
Well, from the looks of things, I'd say it happened sometime last night. But I'll wait for the coroner's report.
That's a pretty dangerous curve, but that lady has lived in this neighborhood for years.
What happened? What happened? Frances? How'd it happen?
You a friend of Mrs. Yeager's?
Friend. A friend. I'm her husband. We were married 2 days ago.
Didn't find anything over there. Let's take a look over here.
I'm getting tired of hearing about those cigarettes.
Mr. Rollins, let me tell you again that you don't have to answer my questions at all.
I didn't say I wouldn't cooperate. But those cigarette stubs that Jones found, they could have belonged to anybody.
All right, let's get back to this secret marriage.
Francis wanted it that way. We were going to have a church ceremony after a reasonable amount of time.
You and Mrs. Yeager, before Mr. Yeager's death.
She was ready to ask for a divorce.
Barnaby, what time did you say you made those phone calls to Mr. Rollins' apartment?
Between 8 and 10 o'clock that evening.
I got back around 11 o'clock.
But you can't account for the time except for saying that you were out somewhere riding a bike.
That's right. I set Thursday evenings aside so I could night test the bike we've been modifying for the past 4 months. I sent those reports to our Dayton engineers every Friday morning. Now you can check the company records.
In other words, you just take any Thursday night at random and you're simply out somewhere riding a motorcycle along a highway.
That's right, that's right.
Well, now, didn't you tell Mr. Jones that a back injury prevents you from riding?
Only on the desert course, I believe, is the way Mr. Rollins put it.
I don't have a problem with a normal run.
All right, let's get back to the day Jonathan Yeager was killed.
I was with Francis.
Can you verify it?
No, we were alone.
Found it in the garden, Lieutenant. Appears to be blood-stained and has the initial R on it.
Did you say R?
That's right.
We'll get it to the lab and have them check it for latent prints.
Of course there's going to be prints on it. That's mine. Don't you see there's my mark on it? It's been taken from my house. Don't you see I'm being framed? I'm not saying anything from here on. My lawyer will do the talking for me.
That was quite a dessert. I admire your appetite.
It's something I inherited. I think I could just gorge myself on all kinds of goodies and not gain an ounce.
You know, Carolyn, I'm glad to see that you're not too disappointed that Steve Rollins could be in control of the Yeager Company now. Except for the fact that he married Francis, that would all be yours. Unless, of course, he is convicted of murder.
Mr. Jones, I can't give a thought to what I might have gained. That old conscience of mine keeps telling me what's not freely given does not belong to me.
It's a pretty good philosophy to live by.
Besides, Steve may be perfectly innocent. I mean, why would he leave so many obvious clues behind?
Well, one explanation could be that intelligent people do not commit murder. Oh, they may be clever, but they mistake their cleverness for intelligence, forgetting that they're not allowed one mistake, not one error, forgetting that they have to shut out the other side completely. A lopsided score is just not good enough.
If Steve is guilty, if he made so many mistakes, he might still have that other bike somewhere.
Wherever it is, it would have to be proven that he was the only person who had access to that particular place. You ready? Yeah, looks like Steve Rollins is home scot-free. The first thing he would do would be to get rid of that... Wait a minute. Why would he get rid of it? He didn't know until after he was arrested that we could match the oil samples from the drippings in the bike.
I've got a thought. This affair between Steve and Francis has been going on for some time. I mean, where would they have been meeting?
Yeah, I see what you mean. They couldn't use his apartment. His bike riders might come charging in any moment.
And I can't imagine Francis going in and out of motels.
Yeah, hideaway? Yeah, he could have kept the other motorcycle there. Sure something to think about.
That'd be like finding the proverbial needle in the haystack, right? Thanks for everything.
Give my love to San Francisco.
I will. Bye-bye.
You'll be needing a lift back. Thought I'd save you the trouble of calling a cab from the highway.
When'd you learn about the house?
Yesterday, telephone number's in your sister's address book.
You're right, Mr. Jones. Got to be a game. I forgot no errors allowed. Mind if I sit a minute? Did you know it was me all along?
Not until they found that wrench in the garden. After that, Lieutenant Biddle and I decided not to look at convenient clues and just start looking for the one who would profit most.
It's as simple as that, huh?
Not quite. Remember the day you were riding your bike and we almost ran into each other? I couldn't get that out of my mind all day. The way you handle your bike like you were born on one. We checked the dirt motorcycle tracks in San Francisco. They knew Carol and Lacey. The one who always rented the highest powered motorcycle and drove like a fanatic. One track owner said like she was training for the race of her life.
That bit of play acting you did in your office, huh? You must feel pretty smug about it all, huh?
No, as a matter of fact, I feel pretty sad about it all.
The bright morning sun cast a golden and hopeful glow over the sprawling landscape of Los Angeles, bringing with it the promise of a new day. The sky was an endless ocean of blue, completely free of clouds, mirroring the quiet calm that Mr. Barnaby Jones carried within his heart. Mr. Jones, a seasoned investigator with silver hair and a deeply gentle demeanor, believed firmly that truth was the foundation of a peaceful life. He sat in his warmly lit office, carefully reviewing the contents of a thick file on his wooden desk. His young and spirited assistant stood nearby, organizing a stack of newly arrived letters with an enthusiastic energy. "Are you all set for the morning appointments, sir?" the young assistant asked, a cheerful smile lighting up the room. "I am entirely ready," Mr. Barnaby Jones replied, his voice rich with warmth and quiet confidence. "We have a rather delicate visit to make today. We're going to see Mrs. Frances Yeager. It is a time of mourning for her, so we must approach the situation with the utmost empathy and care. The passing of her husband, Mr. Jonathan Yeager, is a profound tragedy, and our goal is simply to find the clarity that the insurance company requires." Meanwhile, far out on the dusty, sun-baked ridges of the desert testing grounds, the morning air buzzed with the mechanical hum of motorcycles. The men of the Yeager Company Motor Division were preparing for their daily routines. The dust swirled in golden clouds as the riders adjusted their helmets. "Are you going to take those ridges again today, Mr. Yeager?" one of the young riders had asked Jonathan just days before the tragic incident. Jonathan, a man filled with a boundless zest for life, had simply smiled and replied that the boss was always allowed to play. He loved the freedom of the open desert, the rushing wind, and the thrill of the ride. But that joy had been cut short, leaving behind a profound mystery that Mr. Jones was now tasked to unravel. Later that morning, Mr. Jones arrived at the elegant and sprawling estate of the Yeager family. The house was surrounded by lush green lawns and beautifully blooming flowers that seemed to dance softly in the gentle morning breeze. Mr. Jones approached the large wooden door and was soon greeted by a polite housekeeper. "Good morning," Mr. Jones said warmly. "Is Mrs. Yeager at home?" "I am Barnaby Jones." "Just 1 minute, please," the housekeeper replied softly, stepping away to inform the lady of the house. Inside the grand study, Mrs. Frances Yeager was immersed in conversations regarding the future of the company. She was a woman of sharp intelligence, though currently burdened by the sudden shift in her world. She spoke firmly with her advisors about making changes on the corporate board, hinting that she was considering phasing out the motor division entirely. The advisors assured her that there was no need to worry about the company's stock losing strength, suggesting that leaking the next quarterly report might put any market rumors to rest. They offered their deepest condolences, expressing their highest regard for her late husband. "Thank you," Frances said quietly. "Goodbye." As the advisors departed, the housekeeper announced the arrival of the investigator. Frances stepped out into the grand hallway to meet him. "Mrs. Yeager?" Mr. Jones asked, offering a gentle and respectful nod. "If this is inconvenient, I could certainly come at another time, perhaps tomorrow even." "No, it is quite all right," Frances replied, maintaining a composed exterior. "I prefer getting as many details out of the way as possible. May I offer you something to drink?" "No, nothing for me. Thank you," Mr. Jones said politely, looking around at the magnificent architecture of the home. "This is a truly lovely place you have here." "Thank you," she answered. "Why do we not talk outside? We can get some fresh air." They walked out onto a beautiful stone patio, overlooking a vibrant garden. Mr. Jones took a moment to admire the peaceful surroundings before gently guiding the conversation toward the matter at hand. "Now, I know that the California Meridian Insurance Company has already spoken to you, so I will try not to cover any old ground," Mr. Jones began, his tone soothing and measured. "Perhaps you can tell me exactly what the problem seems to be. Is it the size of the policy?" Frances crossed her arms lightly. "Well, the double indemnity accidental death clause brings the amount up to $1 million. If my husband did not pass away in an accident, what exactly are you suggesting, Mr. Jones?" "A suicide." Mr. Jones raised a hand gently to dispel the negative thought. No, I am not suggesting anything of the sort, Mrs. Yeager. It is merely that the insurance company feels obligated to look rather closely into the accidental death theory when such a significant amount is involved. That is the only reason they brought me into the matter. Well, I believe you can entirely eliminate suicide as a possibility, Francis stated firmly. My husband was in perfect health, both mentally and physically. Truly, no man had a greater zest for living than Jonathan. Mr. Jones nodded thoughtfully. You know, it is common knowledge that the Yeager Company was in financial trouble lately. The motor division has been a financial drain. That much is true, Francis admitted. So we are considering the possibility of some structural changes there. In fact, the very reason for that division existing passed on with Jonathan. It was always much more of a personal hobby with him than a serious business endeavor. You do not suppose it is possible that Mr. Yeager could have been heavily preoccupied with the complex problems of the company that morning? Mr. Jones inquired gently. Certainly not while testing a high-powered motorcycle, she replied. Those machines speed up to 100 miles an hour. I realize that riders occasionally take spills, but I understand that the trail along the ridge was perfectly straight and completely smooth. Mr. Yeager had ridden safely over it many times in the past. Perhaps what it all boils down to, Mr. Jones, is that it takes just one simple mistake, Francis said, a shadow crossing her face. And, unfortunately, Jonathan made it. Before Mr. Jones could respond, a woman stepped onto the patio. She had a gentle and kind demeanor, though her eyes carried the heavy weight of recent sorrow. Excuse me, Francis, the woman said softly. Carolyn, Francis said, turning to her. I feel so cold and wired or something, Carolyn said, her voice trembling slightly. I am so sorry I have been in such a state of shock. I just happened to see a tiny mention of the tragedy in the San Francisco papers. Francis softened marginally. Well, I am glad you are here. Mr. Jones, this is my sister, Carolyn Lacey. How do you do? Mr. Jones said, offering a warm and comforting smile. How do you do, Mr. Jones? Carolyn replied, returning his polite greeting. Sensing the family needed a moment of privacy, Mr. Jones decided it was time to leave. I think I will be leaving now, Mrs. Yeager. If you do not mind, I will stop by your motor division later. Maybe talk to some of the men who are out there with your husband. That will be fine, Francis agreed. Steve Rollins is in charge there now. He will give you whatever help you might need. Thank you very much, Mr. Jones said. It was very nice meeting you, Miss Lacey. After the investigator departed, the atmosphere on the patio grew strained. Carolyn looked at her sister with a mixture of sadness and confusion. I truly wish you had called me, Francis. I cannot tell you how awful it was reading about the death of Jonathan days after the fact. I am sorry, Carolyn, Francis sighed. I have had 100 different things on my mind recently. Sometimes I absolutely cannot understand you, Francis, Carolyn said, shaking her head slowly. How could you forget to notify your very own sister? Half-sister, dear, Francis corrected softly. Carolyn took a deep breath. Look, I came here because I thought I might be of some help to you, some comfort in a dark time. Obviously, you do not require that comfort. Meaning exactly what? Francis challenged lightly. That I did not truly love Jonathan? That has always been a quietly understood matter between us. But he was a very good man in many ways, Francis. I mean, surely you at least respected him. Would it be easier for you if I just drove right back to San Francisco? Well, that would hardly look proper now, would it? Francis replied. I am sure we can manage to stay out of each other's hair for a few days, do you not think? Carolyn looked away, gazing at the beautiful garden. I just always wished we had been closer as sisters. That is hardly of any importance now, Carolyn, is it? Francis said quietly. No, Carolyn whispered. I suppose it is not. Later that afternoon, Mr. Barnaby Jones drove out to the sprawling desert testing facility. The vast expanse of sand and rock was a testament to the rugged beauty of nature. He met with Steve Rollins and the test riders, eager to understand the sequence of events on that fateful morning. The men gathered around a map drawn loosely in the sand. As far as you can figure, Your position was right there, Mr. Jones said, pointing to a spot on the map. I would say that is a quarter-mile to the right of the ridge, just along the lip of the arroyo. From each of these 4 positions, none of you fellows saw Mr. Yeager go up on the ridge. One of the riders shook his head. Well, out there testing these bikes, it is kind of hard to keep track of anybody else. You are far too busy trying to handle your own powerful machine safely. Mr. Jones turned to another rider. Joe, you were not on the left side of me, but ahead and to the right? No, Joe replied, pointing to a different spot. I hit a patch of deep sand right here and almost flipped directly into the arroyo. That was to the left of you. Another rider chimed in. No, and I clearly saw you to his right too. You were wearing a black helmet, right? Come on, man, Joe argued good-naturedly. I had a literal mouthful of sand. Are you going to tell me that I was not to the west of the arroyos? You two are both completely wrong, the third rider stated. I can absolutely vouch for Joe riding on the left. No, not on my left, the first rider insisted. Well, exactly where did you see me then? Right here, the rider pointed. Now, how could I be way over there when I saw at least 2 of you guys just to the east of me, just mere minutes before the terrible accident? Joe asked in frustration. Look, old buddy, the first rider said. If you were not there, you were not there. But if it was not you, who was it? The men fell silent, pondering the confusion. I do not know, Joe admitted. Steve Rollins stepped forward, noticing the lingering pause. Mr. Jones, did you happen to forget what you came out here for? Well, there seems to be a significant difference of opinion among your men, Mr. Rollins, Mr. Jones observed calmly. That happens occasionally, Steve replied dismissively. How about getting back to work, fellows? Thanks for your time, fellows, Mr. Jones called out as the men dispersed. He then turned back to Steve. Say, do you mind if I take this map drawing? Not at all, Steve said. Is there absolutely anything else I can do for you? Well, no, I do not think so, Mr. Jones mused, rubbing his chin thoughtfully. Well, maybe. You might be able to clear up one small point for me. Those intense tests that you made out there on the desert course, were they a weekly routine thing? Well, we take the bikes out, we test their absolute limits, and then we bring them back and rip them apart to see how they hold up, Steve explained. Was the participation of Mr. Yeager in the test a routine occurrence? Oh, you could not possibly keep him away, Steve chuckled softly. He truly loved biking across those ridges. Well, what about yourself, Mr. Rollins? Mr. Jones asked politely. I understand that you were in charge of all the rigorous testing, but you were not out there that specific day with the others. I stopped riding that harsh desert course about 3 months ago, Steve explained. I developed some severe back trouble. Well, it is just the 4 fellows, Mr. Yeager and you, Mr. Jones deduced. Do you know of absolutely anyone else who might have been highly familiar with the desert course, or had ridden it frequently, or deeply knew the routine? Those 4 men you just talked to, they are our only official testers, Steve said firmly. They have been with us ever since we bought that large desert acreage. Well, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Jones said with a warm smile. And I sincerely hope your back gets better very soon. Thank you, Steve replied. That evening, Frances sat behind a grand mahogany desk, looking visibly tired. She sighed deeply as an advisor entered the room. I must have gone through exactly 6 pounds of heavy financial reports this afternoon. You know, you're going to have to learn to leave these tedious business details to others, madam, the advisor said kindly. You are a very wealthy lady now. And especially tonight, I do not want you excessively preoccupied with business details. Do you promise me? I promise, Frances smiled slightly. Meanwhile, back at the investigation office, Mr. Jones and his assistant were reviewing the confusing testimonies of the 4 riders. The assistant looked at the map in utter bewilderment. Would you not think they would purposely pick a much safer spot to extensively test racing motorcycles? The assistant asked. I am quite puzzled, Mr. Jones admitted, tapping the map gently. I truly cannot understand why the 4 highly trained test drivers cannot agree on their precise positions just before the accident occurred. Now, 2 of them out there claim that they clearly saw Joe Scully. They place him right here. They say he was wearing a black helmet, and they absolutely swear they saw him right at the spot. But Scully insists he was way out there, and he is fully backed up by rider number 4 down there. That is a massive discrepancy of over 1 mile. And your first instinct was that somebody was intentionally not telling the strict truth. That would be such an incredibly clumsy lie, Mr. Jones reasoned, his eyes twinkling with quiet deduction. Here is the main point of debate. Sometimes the very simplest explanations are the most accurate ones. Now, if those 4 riders were all telling the absolute truth as they saw it, there must have been another unidentified cyclist out here. A Mr. X. Mr. X. Exactly. Mr. Jones nodded enthusiastically. Now, if, as you say, these 2 riders saw him here in this specific area, well, where was he before that moment? He must have been hiding someplace where there was not any chance of one of the heavy bikes coming tearing through. Someplace where he could have easily kept a watchful eye on all the others. The next morning, Mr. Jones traveled back to the sandy desert site, determined to find the hidden vantage point. Walking carefully along the dusty dunes, his sharp eyes scanned the landscape. "Let us start looking over there," Mr. Jones muttered to himself, approaching a secluded alcove of rocks. He knelt down and inspected the ground carefully. These markings are several days old, at least. Could someone have just been innocently resting here? A local guide asked. They threw down exactly 3 cigarettes, Mr. Jones pointed out. That would take a half hour or more to smoke. And what is that dark spot over there? It looks like oil dripping, the guide noted. I see, Mr. Jones said thoughtfully. There are no tire tracks left, though. The strong desert wind took care of erasing that evidence. What we have here is a deliberate trespasser. He sat here long enough to casually smoke 3 cigarettes and let his machine drip a little distinct oil into the sand. If that is our Mr. X, he possesses a lot more hidden curiosity than just a simple trespasser. Later that week, Mr. Jones took some time for his own health. He loved the crisp morning air and believed that maintaining a healthy body was just as important as maintaining a sharp mind. He was out for his daily jog along a scenic, paved path near the coast. Good morning, John. Mr. Jones greeted a passing neighbor happily. I've got to get my 2 miles in every single day, or I will go to bed with a guilty conscience. Suddenly, a motorcycle zoomed past him, swerving slightly and causing Mr. Jones to step back quickly. The rider, realizing the close call, skillfully circled back and stopped. She pulled off her helmet, revealing herself to be Carolyn Lacey. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry, Carolyn gasped. That was a close one. Mr. Jones chuckled gently, not bothered in the slightest. I should have been watching where I was going. Oh, it was entirely my fault, Carolyn insisted. Maybe I should strictly stick to simple jogging, huh? Mr. Jones smiled warmly. Would your conscience permit accepting a refreshing walk at this point? If it did not, it would certainly be in for a long argument. Carolyn laughed, stepping off the bike and walking alongside him. Do you get down this way to the coastal paths often? I have not been down for a solid year or so, she replied. It is kind of hard to tear me away from that lovely city by the bay. Pacific Western, you know? You must run track, I will bet, Mr. Jones observed, noticing her athletic stride. No major records, just lots of healthy fun. Carolyn smiled brightly. That is exactly about the way I always went at it, Mr. Jones shared happily. But I did manage to break the 4-minute mile once during my junior year at Claiborne College. Carolyn looked genuinely impressed. You actually did? Yes, indeed. Mr. Jones chuckled heartily. They had to meet in a lovely county park in a brand new quarter-mile oval. I was quite a celebrated hero for about a half an hour. Right until somebody wisely suggested physically measuring the track. It turned out the county commissioner had awarded the building contract to his nearsighted nephew. The track was exactly 50 yards short. Carolyn laughed, a bright and musical sound that filled the morning air. That is absolutely delicious. Their conversation naturally shifted to the current family situation. The housekeeper said she had not heard from Frances either. Carolyn noted, a hint of worry returning to her eyes. I cannot imagine where she spent the entire night. Oh, well, she'll probably call or show up soon enough. They reached a small cafe and decided to grab a light snack. Mr. Jones ordered a slice of pie. Here you are, the waitress said, placing the plate down. Yes, it looks very good. Mr. Jones smiled appreciatively. Carolyn watched him with a gentle smile. I am the gal who is mostly efficient in all things which simply do not matter. Now, Miss Lacey, Mr. Jones began. Oh, Carolyn, please, she interrupted warmly. I am not a women's liberation advocate, but the title of Miss at my age is something distinctly less than complimentary. I would not say that at all, Mr. Jones replied kindly. I was just wondering whether you might have some specific information that Mr. Yeager had recent trouble with one of his employees. No, I never heard anything at all like that, Carolyn answered honestly. What about his personal relationship with your sister? Mr. Jones asked gently. Carolyn sighed softly. I am completely sure Jonathan truly loved her. As for Frances, I do not think she will ever change. She firmly wants what she wants. She aggressively gets it. She grows incredibly tired of it, and then she swiftly goes on to something completely new. It sounds to me like you strongly suspect something more than a mere accident, Mr. Jones observed keenly. Well, I simply cannot dismiss that distinct possibility, Carolyn admitted softly. Then, in total fairness to Jonathan, I must tell you that he had become deeply concerned about something in the last 6 months. He spent a massive amount of time up in San Francisco. We would sometimes have a quiet dinner together. I guess you probably know that he and I were something significantly more than just casual friends. I did not know that, Mr. Jones said, his voice full of gentle understanding. It was a very long time ago, Carolyn reminisced, a sad smile touching her lips. Almost exactly 7 years. Oh, I have kind of gotten completely used to always playing second fiddle where Frances is concerned. Even when we were tiny kids, she always predictably ended up with the absolute nicest toy. Or she would be sitting joyfully on my father's knee exactly when I desperately wanted to be there. Anyway, Jonathan sadly said that he and Frances were having heavy friction. I firmly think he knew she was actively having a secret affair. Did he happen to mention the man's name? Mr. Jones inquired gently. No, he did not, Carolyn replied. He did say that he strongly thought it might be somebody extremely close to him right within the company. Later that afternoon, Mr. Jones returned to the Grand Yeager estate. He found Frances pacing anxiously in her elegant living room. Mr. Jones, Frances said quickly, may I speak with you for a brief moment? Yes, surely, Mr. Jones replied calmly. My personal attorney firmly tells me that your final report to the insurance company is the only single thing that is heavily holding up the settlement check, she stated, her tone laced with impatience. Yes, I will not be much longer, Mrs. Yeager, Mr. Jones assured her politely. I do not mean to be overtly rude, Frances continued, but your endless prodding is beginning to make others, as well as me, incredibly nervous. I have to sincerely apologize for that, Mr. Jones said smoothly, but I was just telling your sister that the unfortunate death of your husband may not have been purely accidental. Frances crossed her arms, a look of distinct annoyance crossing her delicate features. Mr. Jones, if you are deliberately trying to revive that ridiculous suicide theory. I never once held that specific theory, Mr. Jones corrected her gently. You know, Mrs. Yeager, what I deeply suspect but have been completely unable to definitively prove is that there was another unidentified bike rider hiding on the desert test area that day. I suspect he deliberately caused the bike of your husband to tragically go right off the high ridge. Oh, that is absolutely ridiculous, Frances scoffed loudly. That mysterious rider was silently waiting for quite some time out there, quietly hiding and patiently smoking these specific brown cigarettes, Mr. Jones said, producing a small plastic evidence bag. Do you happen to know absolutely anyone who frequently smokes brown cigarettes exactly like that? Frances stared at the small bag, her face paling slightly. No, I definitely do not. Well, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Jones said gently, bowing slightly. Goodbye. As soon as Mr. Jones departed, Frances stormed into the guest room where Carolyn was packing a small bag. Francis, Carolyn said, startled. Where exactly were you last night? Francis demanded sharply. That is truly none of your business, Carolyn replied softly but firmly. It is completely true, is it not? Francis accused, her voice rising in sudden anger. You have been carrying on a secret affair for quite some time. Some time now? With Steve Rollins. Carolyn looked at her sister calmly. Exactly what is it that deeply troubles you, Francis? Is it simply being one of the have-nots for once? Or is it something else entirely? Nothing ever genuinely seems to trouble you, does it? Jonathan has been dead for exactly 1 week. Francis glared at her fiercely. Perhaps you were entirely right before. Perhaps it would be significantly wiser for you to go directly back to San Francisco. As a strict matter of fact, why do you not firmly plan on leaving first thing in the morning? Without waiting for a response, Francis turned and swiftly left the house. She drove hurriedly to the testing facility and found Steve Rollins in his office. Hello, beautiful. Steve smiled warmly as she entered. Mr. Jones strongly thinks Jonathan may have been deliberately murdered, Francis said breathlessly, her eyes wide with mounting panic. Steve frowned slightly. He is a real dedicated man, is he not? What does he say? Can he actually prove it? He firmly says somebody was quietly hiding out at the testing grounds, patiently waiting to violently send Jonathan crashing right off that high ridge, Francis explained rapidly. Somebody who habitually smokes the exact same kind of brown cigarettes you do. Steve stared at her in disbelief. Where exactly did you go that specific day, Steve, right after you left me? Francis demanded. I went biking smoothly along the beautiful coast, actively testing a brand new needle valve, Steve answered defensively. Hey, wait a minute, honey. These specific cigarettes are easily found all over the entire town. Besides, how long do you deeply have to know me? Do you not sincerely know me well enough? Francis softened, guilt washing over her features. I am so sorry. My darling, I just felt incredibly sick to my stomach when I suddenly saw those brown cigarettes. You know exactly what I think. Our good friend Mr. Jones is just desperately trying to successfully convince the massive insurance company that he is truly worth the high fee they are paying him. Steve pulled her into a comforting embrace. It is a completely wrong theory, gentlemen, but I was firmly in their pitching. You entirely know what I mean. Yes, Francis murmured softly. We have very good days completely ahead of us, honey, Steve promised gently. Later that evening, Mr. Jones decided to casually drop by the Yeager Company offices to speak with Steve Rollins again. The large building was mostly quiet, the vast majority of the staff having already gone home to their families. Good evening, Pete, Mr. Jones said cheerfully to the elderly night watchman. Is Mr. Rollins around? I honestly do not know if he has officially gone home or not, Pete replied kindly. You might casually look back by his main desk there, though. Thanks a lot. I will carefully try there, Mr. Jones said. He walked softly down the long, shadowed hallway. Mr. Rollins, he called out gently. In another part of town, Francis was wrapping up her phone calls for the evening. Yes, that is perfectly fine for tonight, she said into the receiver. Thank you very much. Good night. She hung up and walked through the dimly lit rooms of a secluded house she had been secretly renting. Steve, she called out softly into the quiet house. Steve, are you here? Suddenly, she heard a sound from the shadows. Who is quietly out there? She asked, her heart suddenly racing. Are you home? Please, kindly let me in. Please. A figure stepped silently from the heavy darkness. No, Francis gasped, her eyes widening in sheer terror. Carolyn? Carolyn. Carolyn stepped fully into the dim light, her expression completely cold and totally unreadable. How exactly does it deeply feel to be totally on the short end for a sudden change, Francis? Please, please, Francis begged, tears rapidly welling in her eyes. I have absolutely got to truthfully tell you exactly how it joyfully feels to finally be on the ultimate winning side for the very first time, Carolyn whispered, a chilling smile touching her lips. It is absolutely delicious. What can you possibly gain by horribly killing me? Francis cried out desperately. All of that massive money that rightfully should have been purely mine exactly 7 years ago, Carolyn replied coldly. Frances turned to run.
No.
No. But it was tragically too late. The next bright morning, Mr. Jones returned to the busy company offices. He found Steve Rollins organizing some technical paperwork. "Good morning, Mr. Rollins," Mr. Jones said politely. "Good morning," Steve replied, glancing up. "I tried to call your personal apartment several times late last night, but you simply were not in," Mr. Jones noted conversationally. "I was out happily riding," Steve said smoothly. "What exactly did you want?" "You know, closely watching the fascinating way those heavy cycles aggressively bounce around out there on the dirt track, you would strongly think they would all ultimately come in as total complete wrecks," Mr. Jones observed with a warm chuckle. "That is exactly the whole entire point behind the rigorous testing," Steve explained proudly. "Do you happen to have any highly special equipment heavily installed on each individual bike?" Mr. Jones inquired gently. "I carefully noticed the distinct oil has a kind of a very special, unique tint to it. We actively use a highly advanced synthetic oil with a pure vegetable base," Steve answered easily. "We are currently just eagerly experimenting with one of our new refinery products." "Do all the heavy bikes utilize the exact same kind of unique oil?" "Yes, they do," Steve said, narrowing his eyes slightly. "Mr. Jones, you're not genuinely interested in specialized vegetable oils. Let us completely get to the absolute point. Like, exactly what kind of brown cigarettes do I personally smoke?" Mr. Jones smiled gently. "Well, I firmly think that we can currently charge that specific detail down to pure coincidence, just as long as you can clearly explain and fully account for your exact time during the entire day that Mr. Yeager was tragically killed." "I was actively testing this specific bike directly along the beautiful coast," Steve stated firmly. "Next question. All day long." "You absolutely got it. You honestly did not even casually stop anywhere quickly for some standard gasoline?" Mr. Jones pressed gently. Steve sighed in heavy frustration. All right. I was privately with a lovely woman for a good part of that sunny day." "And you are resolutely not giving out her specific name," Mr. Jones guessed astutely. "Would it not happen to be the exact same lovely woman who firmly said she did not clearly recognize the particular kind of brown cigarettes you frequently smoked?" "Goodbye, Mr. Jones," Steve said sharply, turning away. As Steve turned, he accidentally knocked over a small container of the dark synthetic oil. "Oops. I am deeply sorry," Steve muttered. "That is an incredibly clumsy deal. I will quickly clean it up." "Just kindly let it be," Mr. Jones said softly, watching the dark liquid slowly pool on the floor. "Oh, by the gentle way, Mr. Rollins, do you happen to personally own significantly more than just one powerful bike?" "I formerly owned 2 heavy bikes," Steve answered. I historically did own 2 bikes. One was unfortunately stolen a few short months ago." "Why do you casually ask?" Steve added defensively. "Just pure, simple curiosity." Mr. Jones smiled warmly. "I am deeply sorry about the spilled oil. That was a truly close one. I absolutely should have been closely watching." "Oh, it was entirely my own fault," Steve replied. Mr. Jones nodded and left the bustling office, his sharp mind racing with endless possibilities. He drove carefully back to the sprawling Yeager estate. He found Carolyn sitting quietly on the sunlit patio. "Are you currently looking for Frances?" Carolyn asked politely. "Yes, I was sincerely hoping to deeply talk to her," Mr. Jones replied. "I honestly do not firmly think she is completely home yet," Carolyn said, her brow furrowing in apparent concern. "Mr. Jones, there is truly something very terribly peculiar secretly going on." "Like exactly what?" Mr. Jones asked, sitting down gracefully. "I genuinely do not completely know. It is extremely hard to fully explain." Carolyn hesitated. "I firmly think I can safely name it. I finally know the secret man that Frances has been deeply seeing. At the very least, I clearly saw them entirely together one dark night, and their close relationship was distinctly much more than just purely friendly." "Steve Rollins?" Mr. Jones suggested gently. "Yes, I have personally met him." Carolyn nodded. "Well, It honestly did not take very much wild imagination to completely know she was eagerly expecting him late last night. What exactly makes you bravely say that? Oh, at exactly 7 in the evening. She abruptly asked me exactly what I was firmly planning to joyfully do that particular evening. I casually said absolutely nothing. She strongly suggested that I immediately take in a fun movie down at the local village. I quickly took the heavy hint and safely got home at exactly around midnight. But she was totally gone. I do not know. It is just all very terribly strange. Suddenly, the frantic housekeeper ran rapidly out onto the sunny patio, her face completely pale with absolute terror. Miss Lacey, the local police just hurriedly called. On the sandy beach. Mrs. Yeager. Oh, dear God. Carolyn cried out, covering her mouth in shock. Francis. Oh no. Mr. Jones stood up quickly, his face grave and solemn. It is significantly better if you quietly wait right up here. Please, safely wait right over here. There is absolutely nothing you can positively do. He rushed down to the beautiful beach, where the local authorities had already securely cordoned off the tragic area. The waves crashed softly against the sandy shore, a stark contrast to the horrible tragedy that had occurred. The body of Francis Yeager had been found, the clear victim of a devastating hit-and-run incident. Mr. Jones, an investigating officer, called out respectfully. I absolutely cannot completely believe it. From the dark looks of the surrounding things, I would safely say it unfortunately happened sometime late last night. But I will patiently wait for the official report from the medical coroner. That is a pretty incredibly dangerous sharp curve up there, Mr. Jones observed sadly, but that intelligent lady has safely lived securely in this lovely neighborhood for many long years. What exactly happened? A distraught man forcefully pushed his way through the gathering crowd. It was Steve Rollins. What horribly happened? Francis? How did it terribly happen? Are you a close personal friend of Mrs. Yeager? The officer asked sharply. A friend? Just a friend. Steve shouted, tears aggressively streaming down his face. I am her legal husband. We were secretly married exactly 2 days ago. Mr. Jones watched Steve closely, his heart heavy with genuine sorrow, yet his mind remained sharply alert. Let us carefully take a closer look right over here, he suggested softly to the lead detective. Later that solemn afternoon, Steve Rollins was firmly brought into the Bright police station for intense questioning. Mr. Jones sat quietly in the corner of the small room, his presence a calming force. I am rapidly getting incredibly tired of continuously hearing about those mysterious brown cigarettes, Steve stated angrily. Mr. Rollins, kindly let me patiently tell you once again that you absolutely do not have to forcefully answer my specific questions at all, the local lieutenant said sternly. I totally did not firmly say I would absolutely not cooperate, Steve replied defensively. But those tiny cigarette stubs that Mr. Jones successfully found, they could easily have belonged to absolutely anybody. All right, let us firmly get back to this deeply secret sudden marriage, the lieutenant continued. Francis strongly wanted it completely that specific way, Steve explained softly. We were firmly going to properly have a beautiful church ceremony happily after a highly reasonable amount of appropriate time. You and Mrs. Yeager secretly involved long before the unfortunate death of Mr. Yeager? The lieutenant pressed. She was entirely ready to firmly ask for a legal divorce, Steve confessed. The lieutenant paused, looking down at his detailed notes. Harvey, what exact time did you firmly say you officially made those specific phone calls directly to the personal apartment of Mr. Rollins? A junior officer stepped forward quickly. Exactly between 8 and 10 in the evening. I officially got back around 11 in the night. The lieutenant looked sharply back at Steve. But you simply cannot accurately account for that exact block of time except for firmly saying that you were actively out safely, somewhere joyfully riding a heavy motorcycle. That is absolutely right, Steve insisted. I strictly set Thursday evenings entirely aside, so I could thoroughly night test the exact bike we have been carefully modifying for the past 4 long months. I promptly sent those detailed reports directly to our Dayton engineers every single Friday morning.
Now,
You can easily check the official company records for proof. In completely other straightforward words, you casually just take absolutely any given Thursday night completely at pure random, and you are simply actively out entirely somewhere joyfully riding a loud motorcycle right along a dark highway, the lieutenant summarized skeptically. That is fully right, Steve maintained. That is entirely right. Mr. Jones leaned forward gently. Well, now, did you not completely tell Mr. Jones just yesterday that a severe back injury entirely prevents you from actively riding? Only on the harsh desert course, I deeply believe, is the precise way Mr. Rollins specifically put it, the lieutenant noted dryly. I genuinely do not legally have a physical problem with a totally normal smooth run, Steve clarified anxiously. Now, let us firmly get carefully back to the exact day Jonathan Yeager was tragically killed, the lieutenant said. I was passionately with Francis, Steve admitted quietly. Can you firmly verify that claim? No, Steve whispered. We were entirely alone. Another officer swiftly entered the small room, carefully holding a sealed plastic evidence bag. I successfully found it deeply buried in the soft garden dirt, Lieutenant. It strongly appears to be horribly bloodstained and distinctly has the engraved initial R right on it. Steve stared at the heavy metal wrench in absolute horror. Did you boldly say R? That is perfectly right, the lieutenant said firmly. We will swiftly get it securely to the crime lab and meticulously have them thoroughly check it for any latent fingerprints. Of absolute course, there is firmly going to naturally be my clear prints on it, Steve cried out in sheer desperation. That is absolutely mine. Do you not clearly see there is my specific mark carefully engraved on it? It has been deliberately taken entirely from my secure house. I have been completely framed. Do you not clearly see I am being entirely framed? I am firmly not boldly saying absolutely anything else. From here on out, my highly paid lawyer will effectively do all the legal talking entirely for me. Steve was formally arrested and securely locked in a secure holding cell. To the weary police, the complex case firmly seemed entirely closed. The clear motive, the undeniable opportunity, and the bloody physical weapon exactly pointed perfectly directly to Steve. But Mr. Jones felt a profound sense of deep unease. The dark pieces of the sad puzzle fit together far too easily, almost as if they had been carefully arranged by a masterful hand. He decided to visit Carolyn one final time before respectfully submitting his official report. He politely invited her to a quiet, elegant dinner at a cozy local restaurant. They finished a truly wonderful meal together, the gentle ambience a stark contrast to the heavy events of the previous days. That was quite a delicious dessert, Mr. Jones smiled warmly. I deeply admire your healthy appetite. It is truly something I luckily inherited. Carolyn laughed softly, her eyes sparkling. I could happily gorge myself on all kinds of sweet goodies and miraculously not officially gain a single ounce. Mr. Jones sipped his clear water gently. You know, Carolyn, I am genuinely glad to clearly see that you are safely not too terribly disappointed that Steve Rollins could legally be entirely in complete control of the wealthy Yeager company now. Except for the simple fact that he recently married Francis. That vast fortune would all eventually be legally yours. Unless, of course, he is successfully convicted of terrible murder. Carolyn looked down deeply at her delicate hands, her expression entirely serene. Mr. Jones, I simply cannot willfully give a single selfish thought to exactly what I secretly might have ultimately gained. That old, trusted conscience of mine lovingly keeps gently telling me what is simply not freely given does absolutely not lawfully belong to me. That is an incredibly beautiful, pretty good philosophy to safely live by, Mr. Jones praised her sincerely. Besides, Steve may legitimately be perfectly, entirely innocent. I freely mean, why exactly would he foolishly leave so incredibly many perfectly obvious clear clues completely behind? Carolyn paused, considering his gentle words. Well, one distinct logical explanation easily could perfectly be that highly intelligent, gifted people honestly do legally not carelessly commit brutal murder. Oh, they frequently may successfully be extremely clever, but they tragically mistake their sharp cleverness for true, deep intelligence. Completely forgetting that they are strictly not allowed even one tiny single mistake, not exactly one tiny error, completely forgetting that they literally have to safely shut out the opposing other side entirely completely. A sloppy, lopsided, messy score is simply just entirely not safely good enough. Mr. Jones nodded slowly, a light of profound realization dawning completely in his wise mind. If Steve is truly horribly guilty, if he foolishly made so remarkably many clumsy mistakes, he strongly might incredibly still secretly have that crucial other missing motorcycle safely hidden, securely somewhere. Wherever it strictly is. It absolutely would legally have to be entirely proven that he was the absolute only single person who firmly had exclusive access strictly to that one particular hiding place. "Are you truly ready?" his young assistant asked quietly as they walked slowly back to their rented car. "Yes," Mr. Jones said softly. "Yes. It perfectly looks firmly like Steve Rollins is absolutely going entirely home scot-free. The very first exact thing the true hidden killer definitely would carefully do absolutely would firmly be to swiftly get entirely rid of that crucial hidden evidence." Wait a brief minute. Why exactly would he confidently get completely rid of it? He safely did absolutely not firmly know until completely after he was officially arrested that we successfully could scientifically match the unique oil samples directly from the dark drippings exactly in the dusty sand to his specific bike. His assistant's eyes widened. "I have entirely got a bright thought. This deeply secret romantic affair entirely between Steve and Frances has legally been joyfully going smoothly on completely for quite some incredibly long time. I purely mean, exactly where realistically would they completely have safely been romantically meeting?" "Yes, I completely firmly see precisely what you honestly mean," Mr. Jones agreed warmly. They completely could strictly not safely use his personal bachelor apartment. His loud, boisterous bike riders smoothly might joyfully come wildly charging joyfully and strictly at absolutely any random moment. And I simply honestly cannot realistically imagine elegant Frances comfortably going repeatedly in and actively out of cheap roadside motels. A secret romantic hideaway? Yes, the true hidden killer absolutely could effectively have safely kept the crucial other missing motorcycle secretly there. It purely is safely, surely, entirely something incredibly important to closely think entirely about. That precisely would truly safely be exactly like impossibly finding the legendary proverbial tiny needle completely in the massive haystack. Strictly right? The assistant sighed heavily. Mr. Jones merely smiled. He knew exactly what he needed to do. He went back to the house and politely asked the housekeeper for any information. Then, he spent the afternoon quietly making phone calls and checking property rental records under various aliases. By early evening, Mr. Jones found himself driving down a quiet, secluded coastal road. The golden sun was beginning to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in breathtaking shades of deep orange and soft pink. He pulled up to a beautifully isolated rental house, completely hidden by tall, swaying trees. He stepped out of the car and walked slowly toward the front door. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the side of the house. It was Carolyn. She was dressed in dark riding clothes, looking completely calm and collected. "Thanks for absolutely everything," she had told him earlier that day. "Give my fond love to beautiful San Francisco." "I absolutely will," Mr. Jones had replied. "Goodbye." But here she was. "You will surely be firmly needing a safe lift directly back to the main city," Mr. Jones said gently, his voice carrying no anger, only a profound, deep sadness. "I kindly thought I honestly would politely save you the massive trouble of forcefully calling a loud cab completely from the distant busy highway." Carolyn stopped, staring at him. "Exactly when did you cleverly, perfectly learn safely about the secret hidden house?" "Yesterday," Mr. Jones answered softly. "I carefully found several strange telephone numbers completely written deeply in your late sister's private address book." Carolyn sighed gracefully, a sad smile touching her lips. "You are entirely right, Mr. Jones. It completely legally got strictly to perfectly be a massive game. I entirely, totally forgot completely that strictly no tiny errors are strictly allowed. Do you politely mind if I kindly sit gently for a quiet minute? Mr. Jones asked, gesturing to a lovely wooden bench. Please do, Carolyn said softly. She looked at him with a mix of respect and sorrow. Did you genuinely, completely, firmly know it absolutely was truly me completely, all entirely along? Mr. Jones shook his head slowly. Strictly not completely, until the local police successfully found that massive, heavy wrench deeply buried completely in the soft garden. Exactly after that specific moment, Lieutenant Vittle and I calmly, firmly decided wisely, not entirely to purely look merely at conveniently, perfectly placed obvious clues, and casually, just calmly, completely start thoroughly looking absolutely for the distinct exact one single person who securely would truly, ultimately, completely profit the very absolute most. It honestly is safely exactly as beautifully simple completely as precisely that. Not entirely completely quite, Carolyn whispered. Remember exactly the beautiful day you were joyfully actively riding your fast bike and we dangerously, almost clumsily ran completely into each other? Mr. Jones recounted gently. I genuinely could strictly not entirely get exactly that precise terrifying moment completely out safely of my busy mind safely, all day long. The incredible perfect way you masterfully gracefully handled your powerful heavy bike exactly completely, like you were literally joyfully born completely right on one. We carefully meticulously checked the dusty dirt motorcycle practice tracks safely up entirely in San Francisco. They all deeply knew Carolyn Lacey completely well. The exceptionally talented one who joyfully always repeatedly rented the highest, most extremely powerful loud motorcycle and passionately drove it completely exactly like a wildly absolute fanatic. Carolyn looked entirely down softly at the gentle green grass. One older track owner firmly, fondly, firmly said I happily, proudly rode beautifully, exactly completely, like I was vigorously training specifically completely for the biggest important race absolutely of my entire life. That brilliant emotional bit exactly of clever play acting you bravely, effectively, expertly did gracefully completely in your late sister's lovely office, Mr. Jones continued softly, his gentle eyes full of pure sympathy. You truly, firmly, securely must currently, softly, deeply feel completely, incredibly pretty, deeply smug, completely, deeply about it all entirely completely, huh? Carolyn looked up at him, a single tear slowly escaping her eye. The weight of her actions, the terrible, tragic cost of her deep envy and buried resentment, finally broke through her carefully constructed facade. No, Carolyn whispered softly, her voice breaking slightly. As a pure, strict factual matter of absolute truth, I deeply, genuinely, currently feel incredibly pretty, terribly, entirely sad, gracefully, completely about it all. Mr. Jones nodded softly, allowing the quiet truth of her tragic confession to hang peacefully in the gentle evening air. There was no joy in this victory, no triumph in catching the killer. There was only the gentle, profound realization that a heart entirely consumed by dark jealousy had tragically destroyed not only the lives of others, but entirely its own beautiful chance at pure, simple happiness. The police arrived shortly after, completely, silently, respectfully taking Carolyn peacefully into official custody. Mr. Barnaby Jones watched them gently drive quietly away, taking a deep, cleansing breath of the fresh ocean air. The intricate case was completely, securely, entirely closed, safely, entirely bringing the much-needed, necessary closure to the grieving surviving family and the massive insurance company. But more importantly, it beautifully, gently reaffirmed Mr. Jones's deeply held quiet belief that the absolute radiant truth, no matter how profoundly, terribly painful, is the only single pure path back completely safely to finding genuine inner peace. He walked slowly back to his waiting car, ready completely to gracefully, eagerly, kindly start a brand beautifully, completely, absolutely, securely new, bright, and entirely, deeply beautiful positive day tomorrow.